It all started when I was a kid, the nightmares, the strange shadows, the sounds that didn't belong in the silence of the night. I'd wake up drenched in sweat, heart racing, convinced I'd heard something, seen something just outside my room. But when I'd look, nothing was there. It was always the same. Darkness. A stillness that felt unnatural. And yet in that stillness, I could feel it. I'd tell myself it was just my imagination. Every time I'd tell myself it was nothing. But deep down I knew something was there, something that had been watching me for a long time. As I grew older, the nightmares stopped, but the feeling, that presence, it didn't leave. It wasn't just a feeling anymore, though. It was more like an awareness, something out of sight, but right next to me. I couldn't see it, but I could sense it, like a shadow lurking just beyond the edge of my vision. As I got older, it was like it grew more powerful. Every night I'd lie in bed trying to fall asleep, but always with that nagging feeling, as if something was there, just watching. The weight in the room, the oppressive air, it felt like it was getting stronger, closer, until one night I decided to ignore it, to brush it off, tell myself it was nothing more than a trick my mind played on me. But when I climbed into bed that night, something felt different. I wasn't alone. I could feel the air shift. The room grew colder, the kind of cold that doesn't make sense. It wasn't just temperature. It was as if the air itself was thickening, wrapping around me like a suffocating blanket. I tried to shake it off, but then I felt it, the softest of movements, like something crawling up the bed. I couldn't see it, I didn't want to see it, but it was there. I could feel it moving, getting closer. It crawled from the foot of the bed, slow, deliberate. My heart began to race. My body felt frozen. I couldn't move, couldn't even look. My eyes stayed closed, hoping that if I ignored it, it would go away. But it didn't. As it reached the top of the bed, the feeling intensified. It wasn't just a presence anymore, it was real. I could feel its weight pressing down on the mattress beside me, crawling even closer. My chest tightened. It felt like someone was right there, hovering above me. And then it happened. A force slammed down on my chest. I couldn't breathe. My body was pinned. It was like someone was sitting on me, holding me down with an unnatural weight. I couldn't move. My arms were locked at my sides, my shoulders pressed into the mattress. I was frozen in place, unable to scream, unable to fight. I could feel my pulse pounding in my ears. My mind was screaming for help, for release, but my body was trapped. And then, just as quickly as it started, it stopped. The pressure vanished. I could breathe again, but I couldn't move. I lay there in shock, trying to make sense of what had just happened. My heart was still racing, my body trembling. The room felt silent, too silent. I could feel it retreating, crawling off the bed, slowly, as if it was just leaving me there in a state of confusion and terror. The silence that followed was deafening. It was unnatural. I couldn't turn the light off. I didn't want to sleep. The silence was deafening, and in that stillness I wondered, was it still there? That night I stayed awake for hours, afraid to close my eyes, afraid to let the darkness consume me again. It's been decades, but I still feel it. Every so often it comes back, just out of reach, lurking in the shadows. I don't know what it is. I don't know why it chose me. But I do know this. It's not gone, and I'll never forget that night. If you've had similar experiences, like and leave a comment below. And don't forget to subscribe for more true paranormal stories.